Hello, darlings. Hi, everyone. Hi. Happy frickin' day of call-ins. So I see you guys are calling. We have all of our technical glitches effectively dealt with today. Let's make this a little less intense. She's glowing, but she doesn't need to be radiating. Welcome to the EdibleSpirit experience. Live call-in experience. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, Miss Latrice. Yes. Oh my God, you guys, I love you. So, as you know, this is a part of the EdibleSpirit experience, the subscription service that we're offering to you and yours. We're streaming live for whomever wishes to participate in this, but only experienced subscribers can call in. We're really enjoying doing this EdibleSpirit experience, digital spiritual practice that's hopefully never too much and never too little, just right, like Goldilocks. Yes. Okay, good. And I see you calling. I'm going to take your calls in just a second. We love this. We love that too. Ooh, everything's working. Okay, cute. We're actually going to switch this over here then and see if that works. So basically, with the EdibleSpirit experience, you get weekly readings, you get new moon and full moon live stream, and then you get these new moon and full moon live stream, that's twice a month, so bi-monthly. And those include astrological updates, tarot readings, and suggestions for ritual. And then we also give you these things once a month, kind of like rotating. Next month will be the summer solstice ritual, where we'll do a group ritual and we send out a mood board a little bit before the ritual so that you can get in the vibe of the summer. And then we gather for the ritual as a community and do, group ritual to welcome in the summer season. The month after that, we do a channeling channeling experience where we connect with spirit, deliver messages directly to you, whatever may be necessary, whatever's most useful. I love it. You guys are calling, so don't worry. I'm going to get your calls in the order that they're coming in. I'll come back to you in just a second. And then the third offering is what we're doing this month, which is this call-in show, where you experienced subscribers get the number, usually a few days before. Today it came in the morning. So I'm really stoked that everybody is reaching this and calling this. I see you 203, I see you 419, I see you 407. So we already got 3 people chilling for calls. Why are we doing this? Just so you know, we have recently been guided to go against everything. Yes, 516! To go against everything we've ever been trained. We are no longer doing one-on-one readings. We are no longer doing, at least for the time being, we're no longer doing our standard one-on-one, person-to-person EdibleSpirit session. We've been guided to take this work and continue offering it creatively, offering it live, offering it together. It'll probably be gone. It's gone now from Instagram, but we got to do a live reading on Instagram Live with our dear babe buddy, Peter, who is also an experienced subscriber. So we got to do that. That was up for 24 hours. So we're just trying to do fun, cool, interesting offerings that are encouraging you guys to heal and to share your healing and to be proud about the work that you're doing. And P.S., I'm a Scorpio, right? So to be proud about how fucked up you are, to be proud about where you're at, to be proud about the victories that you've achieved and the mental health month, right? The balance that you've cultivated. So we're offering this as a version of that so that you guys can hear what each other are going through and get a one-on-one reading. So basically, like, this is one of the few ways in which you can actually get this work done. We're going to be doing aura picks in New York City. We're still using the gift left, right, and center, and we're pumping energy into the experience. We're just not doing things in the way we've always done them. And it's really interesting too, because we've had to practice a lot of the stuff that we say to you guys all the time, which is How do you know when something needs to change? Well, the answer is you just fucking know, right? But the longer answer is that your heart tells you, right? Your heart will tell you that it's time, or that it's time for a change, or that it's time for a shift. And I keep being like, really? Like, really? I got to stop doing one-on-one readings. I've been doing them for 10 years. This is my bread and butter. This is what I love. And it's like, my heart knows every time that we're doing stuff like this now. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here for this, the Edible Spirit Experience call-in show. Call-in experience, as it were. One more thing I got to do. Sit tight. 1 second. I got to get matches. We are just going to light our candle. Going to wave a little sage about, you know. Oh, no, maybe we won't use sage. Yeah, we're going to use these sprays that we have that we love. Let's see. Can we get the ether? Yeah, ether to clear and lighten this space. And some earth to ground. So just calling upon all the guides and guardians that are with all of you and with all of us, all of the spiritual sources of love and light that are bringing guidance, energy, experience that's beneficial, that's healing, that supports us on our paths at this time, in the highest good of all, involved with harm to none. Only you beautiful beings working in the light are welcome in this space today. You're very welcome here. As long as you come in the light and the highest good of all involved, let everything that is transmitted be received by whomever needs to receive it today. Let it be integrated into their energetic bodies, including the physical, through no undue stress or strain on their part. Whatever no longer serves whomever we are connecting with tonight, whether on a call or whether you're just watching, let this be an opportunity for you to release whatever no longer serves you, especially in the name of the Scorpio full moon. Let us embrace the things which nourish and serve and comfort. Let us release and clear and transmute all that which no longer serves, all that which is no longer in alignment. Let whatever it is be released, absorbed, cleansed, cleared, transmuted by Mother Earth and the Sacred Violet Flame, both of whom we invoke to pass through this space, our shared digital space, and if willing, if it's in your highest good and healing, the space in which you find yourself right now. If you like, you can bring your hands to the heart center and take a few deep breaths with me, breathing in light from above the crown into the heart, breathing it out through the feet into the ground. Affirming that this shared space is cleansed, cleared, consecrated, protected, prepared for you and your unfoldment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful beings, beautiful guides, beautiful energies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are so damn delicious. We love you. Deep breath in the nose. Okay, love this. So welcome, babies. I'm going to call you back. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I see you. We're going 203-419-407-516. And then I think it's on to 347. But don't worry, I'm getting you in the order you came in, okay? So let us see how this works. Okay. Is this working? Oh, no, not you. You're not the one. I love you, but... Okay, hang on. Love this, love this. Here we go. 203, babies. Okay. Here we go. Call has been placed. We've got our notepad. We've got our Shiva Lingam. Ooh.
How are you?
Hi there. Who's this?
It's Marianne.
Marianne. Hi, Angel.
Hi, babe.
How are you?
How are you? I'm great.
Good. Feeling good here too. Say again?
Yes.
Can I hear you? Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, right on.
Yes.
Great. What's going on? How are you? I'm headed your way really soon.
I can't wait. Send me the date so I know when you're here.
I certainly shall.
So everything is great. We saw you, 2 months ago?
Thereabouts.
March 31st, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's wonderful. Everything's exactly as you said it would be.
Amazing. That's
Of
good.
course. Of course. Yes. It's been so amazing to have your insight before I need it so that I could kind of prepare for it and be ready for it when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that.
You bet. And you know, I mean, I've been working with Marianne for a while now, and you know that one of the natures of the way that our gift works is that we give you whatever we get. And, you know, so it's great to know we give you whatever we get in the present moment, because it's one of the basic tenets of reading, right? Is that you can contact the past and the future from the present. But if you go hunting the future, it usually can get pretty messy, you know? So it's great to hear that you, that with the work that we've done in session, that you find then some time goes by and that you're prepared for the unexpected, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
And
sometimes I'm not quite understanding what it is you're telling me until a couple of weeks goes by, and then I would go, oh, that's what he meant. Okay, I got it.
And that is exactly, we've been saying this for the last few weeks too, that thing is you and your intuition, right? That when it happens, it's actually you recognizing the intersection between the timeline that you're on and the timeline that we maybe were discussing in your session, but then noticing that when we open up to channel and when we open up to spirit, the timeline is not horizontal, it's vertical, it's infinite, it's eternal, it's circular, you know, it's everything but a straight line. So what's cool is that when you're just the theory is that whatever's infinite and eternal, right, is all happening at the same time. So when we plug into infinite space and time in a reading and we get a good message, the theory is that then you're going along, we would consider that a vertical message because it's coming out of this intersection. And then you're going along your day, something happens. Maybe there's no meaning to someone else, but because your consciousness has plugged into this vertical time, then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I know in my heart of hearts that that's what he was talking about, right?
Yes, exactly.
And just again, I mean, I don't try to talk shit about other readers, but I've had terrible readings before where I feel not good, and I'm not really trying to talk shit about anybody. I'm just trying to break down and demystify this whole practice, which is to say, if someone tells you what's going to happen and then you sit and wait for it to happen, that's not very healing. That's not very empowering. If someone spreads the options out and gives you signposts as to what to look for or how to know you're on the right track or how to know you're in the right place at the right time, then a vertical moment, right, where your heart goes, oh my God, that's what they were talking about. Not only does it let you know you're in the right space at the right time, not only does it confirm for you whatever, you know, you may have been suspecting or hoping for or looking for, but ultimately it builds up your own intuitive muscle because you then recognize and are training yourself to work with these cycles and work with synchronicities and work with seeing meaning in the middle, seeing infinite meaning in the middle of like our daily dense events, right? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
Right on. Great. Okay. Well, do you have a question today? You want to talk about anything else? You want me to look into anything for you? Or
So I don't have anything specific. Just wondering if anything's kind of jumping out at you.
Yeah. There's actually something that seems to be, I'm feeling it in the lower left-hand side of your abdomen, so lower abdomen. So we're talking around the second chakra. And okay, so it's showing up as like a little vortex, a little hole here, and there's some negotiation around it. I mean, the first thing that I get drawn to is just the proximity of this to the digestive system, and specifically to the part of the digestive system that's all about elimination. So it tells me that you are, well, detoxing low-key, energetically, and that you maybe want to apply a little bit of pressure in areas that, if you're on the fence about whether to get something or someone out of your experience, this sort of says like, bear down and get him out, okay? Actually. Okay, so, and then the other side of it, so that's the part of it that I think is just associated with the digestion that's like, when people have struggle around this area, it's like, what is good for me and what is bad for me? What is nourishing me and what is toxifying me? And in your case, sure, there's a little bit of push-pull, but my sense is that you're more so, you've gone through, I think in Taurus season, a process of recognizing where you're at, recognizing what's good, and recognizing what is less than desirable. So the theory would be to not just keep observing what's less than desirable, to actually formalize removing it from your experience, either with a communication, or if it's not someone or something that you want to talk to or talk about, then do it energetically with yourself. You can even, wow, okay, so this is interesting. So this is an old hoodoo kind of technique where you write up on a piece of paper, the name of a person or a dynamic that you don't desire to have in your experience anymore, and you put it in a little coffee cup, and you put water on it, and then you put it in the freezer, right? And you literally freeze it out of your experience, okay?
Wow.
And I know, and it's interesting because initially I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's that intense. But my theory is that you don't want to be going into the like, fuck this person, I don't like this, I don't want this. It's more so just for you to know that you can take whatever is bothering you or whatever you're not sure about, put it down on a piece of paper. Oh, another way of doing this is to put it in a bottle and bury the bottle, but that one feels a little more spooky, Yuki. To me, I wouldn't do that one if I were you. I would just say that yeah, again, it's people or dynamics that you're like,
could it be around my work? Could it be around my job?
Most definitely. Definitely. And again, that's my sense here is that it's more than one thing, right? So maybe it, and I think that's why I'm getting like, this isn't about put it in the freezer and leave it there forever. It feels more so like you're taking a name and putting it in the freezer for 5 days, right? And seeing what it's like for you to energetically know that whatever it is. So you could also put like, antagonists, like I'm freezing out all energy of antagonism from my life. So then the theory is that if someone wants to throw that at you, you know that energetically you're not open for that kind of business, so it changes the experience. And so that's why I would say experiment with if someone, P.S., if you start with the dynamic, it could cause someone to flare up. And then maybe you're going to want to cool them off and put them in a coffee cup. So I'm imagining like 3 to 5 coffee cups that you have in your freezer in rotation, right? So it's like, so that you're really experimenting with the concept of not just boundaries, but a kind of purification where you're like, look, bitches, I like where I'm at right now. So if my vibe is fucked up, it's definitely not me. So
got it.
If you're bringing me down, if you're causing me stress, whatever it is, I'm saying experiment with the freedom of being able to go, bloop, I take this and I put that out. The theory is that when our minds are fucking flawless, when our minds are on point, we can do that with our minds. But if we don't know that something is bugging us, if it's unconscious, then you know, something like this, like a physical action like this can help to anchor it and make it manifest and make it really real. You see what I mean?
Got it.
So then the other thing about this is just that it's also around the second chakra, and there is a little bit of push-pull around it. And like I would say, it's yeah, you know, great. I thought this was going to be all about like pleasure, romance, this, that, the other thing. No, I really think this is about you taking ownership over being able to decide what feels nice and what doesn't, and being able to make even non-physical energetic choices about improving your environment, refining your environment, so that you feel agency and authority over the frequencies that are coming into and out of your life without having to like really do anything about it in 3D. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Because it's almost also, it's like summer is nigh. You're supposed to have a lot of fun this summer.
We plan on it.
So much fun. So that's what I mean, is it almost feels like you don't even really have to do this work, but if you do, even better, because it's like happy, flowy, juicy second chakra. And then the theory is that if you practice freezing this kind of stuff out of your life, then I'm even getting that this will help you with just other general worries that you have. So that then you'll notice a worry pop up and you'll be like, ooh, I don't even have to put this in a coffee cup. I'm just going to imagine putting it in a coffee cup and dropping it like an iceberg to the bottom of the Antarctic Ocean, and the water dissolves the paper and it's gone. And it starts to become almost medicinal for you to do this kind of energetic practice. Okay.
Perfect.
Fun.
Yeah. Thank you, sweetheart.
You're welcome, my dear. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
All right. See you soon. Love you.
Lots of love.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Tell me, people, tell me, chillins, can you hear the call? Can you guys on YouTube hear the call? Can you hear everything Marianne was saying? I think I have it rigged so that you can. Let's just drop in on these kitties too. So, sweet. So we're going to take another call now. Love that. This is our favorite thing in the world to do with you guys. This is so much fun. P.S. We've been nervous all day, excited all day, worried all day, happy all day, sleepy all day, you know, but here we go. Okay, next caller, next caller, next caller, next caller, next caller, next.
Hello.
Hello, who's this?
Hi.
Who is? Who am I talking to?
Oh, sorry. This is Heidi.
Heidi, hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. What brings you in today? Have you a question? What you want to talk about? Anything specific? Anything you want to ask, or what's up?
Yeah, I am curious if there is anything to talk about around career, job change. I talked to you about this before on the last session, and this has been a year of learning information and me. I mean, it's been a lot of personal growth while also painful. I recognize now I've gone through, I think, the kind of 5 stages of grief. I'm still at my position because I am free to order the pizza and I haven't had to lose my money or make any quick change, but I do think that there's change that's still happening that hasn't happened yet. I'm also thinking about like wanting, at first when this all started happening, I was kind of just holding on to money and not wanting to make any decisions. And now we're also thinking about wanting to take a vacation. And I don't know if that's risky or if it's okay. I don't know if you get anything on that.
I'll check in on that as well. Let me tell you a couple things just so that you can work with the cycles of time And then I actually want to pull some cards for you as well. Cycles of time, cycles of Taurus season. This is good for all the callers, for everyone watching to hear too, that the sun goes into Taurus tomorrow morning. And then in the afternoon, the sun goes into Gemini tomorrow morning. And then by the afternoon, Mercury also goes into Gemini and conjuncts the sun. Okay, so we get a big dose of solar power and Mercuric insight, communication, ideas, mental energy. It literally feels like an aha moment, okay? Then Gemini season is all about dialogue, conversation, possibility, potential, diversification, stirring the pot, okay? Tonight is the last night of Taurus, okay? So tonight is the last night of Sun in Taurus. It's the last night to get primary energy about how your body feels. I know you watch the videos. I know you've been watching full moon stuff, weekly stuff. So just a reminder for you and for everybody, we go from a fixed earth sign, which is Taurus, in the middle of the season, into a mutable air sign, a transformative, shit-stirring, back and forth, dynamic, like rising up of energy that comes in tomorrow anyway. But then Mercury comes in hours later and brings more clarity. Okay, so you're going to get two different kinds of clarity yourself. And my heart feels, I want to be careful about how we say this. So guys, what's the word for this? It's not that you're feeling pessimistic, and correct me if I'm wrong here, right? I don't like telling anybody how they feel, but empathically, I'm feeling that you've got a sense of, well, it's like road tired, downtrodden, like, good Lord, like a
Definitely.
long ass road trip that you don't even want to be on. Okay.
Yeah.
So I honor that. I hear that. I feel that. What I love about this too is the last time we talked about ordering the pizza, you guys ordered pizza that night. I just remembered. My guys just reminded that was beautiful and that was powerful. But P.S., it was a much more extreme energetic situation. It was much more, what the fuck? Where am I? What are we going to do? What's going to happen? It was much more charged. And so what I want to get at is that instead of downtrodden, think of a downbeat. Think that the last month has been a very different quality of energy where no matter how you try to think about it, no matter how you try to feel about it, all you can do in Taurus season is confront things as they are. Not how you'd like them to be, not how you would prefer to see them, but we're constantly confronted by the piles of shit that we have manifested, right? As individuals, as humans. So do you see what I mean? It's almost like it's the difference of like, it's like I'm seeing it, it's almost like a museum where like, God, what if you're in a museum where you don't want to look at the exhibits and yet you got to keep walking through and like looking at the exhibits? It's not fun, so I feel like that's what Taurus season has been like for a lot of people. And it's been hard. But what I want you to get here is that if you think about just doing an inventory of resources, this came up in the full moon transmission, right? If you think about doing that inventory of resources to take stock of what you've got, it sounds like you've actually really done that, where you're like, I know I can order the pizza, but I'm not trying to blow up my existence. I'm not trying to cut one thing out so that I can go to another thing, but I'm feeling like I don't love the density of these fucking exhibits that I've been looking at. I'd rather not just keep pounding my head against these things. I would like to figure a way out and diversify the portfolio and stir things up and find what's next. Clear? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Can I just also say all the time we spend talking about our gifts and using them to contribute in a positive way to the world. I'm in a situation for the last 9 years that has fit my gifts perfectly. and I've loved it. It's just like 3 people who are really my bosses or colleagues that, and I think because my gifts are so tied to this, that's been harder for me to be realistic about. Okay.
I love it.
I can just kind of pour myself. Yeah.
No, I love it. And so what's great about this is that a lot of people find themselves in situations where they're like, why am I even doing this? I don't even know what my fucking gifts are. Like, I know it's not this, you know. So again, to reiterate the Taurus part of it, well, first things first is just to remember that, you know, when we talk a lot about Edible Spirit, about using our gifts, using them in service, if you don't feel good, if you are not in an environment that is hospitable to the use of your gifts, it's going to be hard to use them. You can do it for so long, but eventually it gets frustrating, right? It gets very frustrating.
Yeah.
And the thing is that if you're not working with your gifts, it's a little more challenging to make magic, because Spirit doesn't want to pull strings for you to end up in a dead end. Spirit wants to pull strings so that you can end up sustaining your service and the use of your gifts over a long period of time in a way that is balanced and sustainable for you, right? Okay. So with all that said, all you're really looking for, right, is, well, okay, so we're going to use this Taurus and Gemini analogy. You are okay with the work. You're okay with the gift. You don't even really need to change what you're doing. So you're not trying to actually throw everything out. The resources, right? The resources that you value are use of the gift, and technically it's a hospitable environment, right? But environment, but not when you factor in people. Okay.
Yeah.
So to frame it in the Taurus Gemini space, working for these people and in this way doesn't feel good in your body, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't feel good in my body. That's really good to know. Really good to know that as we spend this last night in Taurus, that your body doesn't really feel like it can sustain this, right?
Yeah.
What your body would prefer is something that was more nourishing and supportive. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, nourishment and support is Cancer, right? Cancer season, June 20th, June 21st, thereabouts. So then the question becomes, Spirit, universe, these are my gifts. This is my dharma. This is what I'm doing here. Okay, what I'm getting is to write a letter to Spirit, letter to God, letter to the higher self, letter to whatever your higher power is, right? And you're saying, dear Spirit, dear self, I love my gifts. I love using my gifts. I love using my gifts even in this environment, but not with these people and not in this situation. I know that I deserve something more nourishing and more supportive. I respectfully demand to be shown viable, desirable possibilities. Viable, desirable possibilities during Gemini season. Okay. And you write that letter out, write some version of that letter, and then when you fold it, you write on it, so it is, right? Witchy statement to say, so it is, so mote it be, so it is. So that you assert and affirm that this is what's changed. P.S. If you haven't watched it yet, or even if you have, go check out the full moon transmission again, because the ritual at the end of the full moon transmission was about taking stock of my inner resources and my outer resources, and then vowing to fucking mysteriously change. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know it needs to happen, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think that based on what we're getting here, you probably don't. Unfortunately, I'm going to pull cards in a second to confirm this, but I'm just saying if you're planning on taking a vacation during Gemini season, you probably want to hold off on that. Okay. The ideal time for a vacation would be potentially the tail end of Cancer season. So figure the second, third week of July, but more aptly put, I think it would actually be it might actually be even in the fall. Like I'm picking up like Sagittarius vibes, which means it would be like late November, which means it would be closer to the holidays. Okay, good. So my sense here though is just that you're working some magical formula here. I say this to callers and to clients sometimes, that every once in a while it's time to shake our fists at the universe respectfully and be like, look, I work for you. I'm here for you. I'm going to keep using my gifts. I'll even keep using my gifts here if that's what I'm supposed to do. But I don't like this dynamic. I don't like this environment. I don't like the way this is. It doesn't feel good in my body. That's Taurus. If you can write this letter out tonight, write it tonight. Reason with yourself. Reason with the universe. Reason with it. I had a healer ages ago named David Elliott, who I loved, who said, I work for the universe, and the checks don't always come on time, but I got a great benefits package, was how he put it, right? And the theory is that we're not working with 3 dimensions. We're working with 17 dimensions, God knows how many dimensions. So it means that the rules aren't always the same as they are on Earth, but that you work for someone. The rules are, if you're doing your service, if you're trying to offer the best that you have while taking care of yourself, while taking care of your family, I mean, geez, like you get something in return. And my sense is that it's not that you just get every little thing that you ask for. It's that you get the things that you ask for that are in alignment with your truth. And when you really hustle your service and when you ask for what you know to be in alignment with what you're here to do, right? The theory is that it should align. It should align, and that during Gemini season you'll be shown the possibilities, so that then what I would say from me to you is that once you get into Cancer season, June 20th, that's when you start feeling like, ooh, get ready, bitches, rolling your sleeve up, like watch what I'm about to do. I'm about to give myself everything I fucking need. Okay.
Yay.
So that's what I would just say to you here is like, this isn't just about when is this going to go down. That's why I think the guides wanted us to talk about Taurus and Gemini in the beginning. It's like, in a way, I feel your downtroddenness or your frustration, but you're kind of right where you should be, which is recognizing what feels good and what doesn't feel good in your body, recognizing the resources, taking inventory, taking stock, approaching a time period where you're like, honestly, I don't know. But Gemini is the twins. Gemini is also spirit and matter, or the dialogue between your small self and your big self. So you could, from here today, write a letter to your higher self, and you're preparing yourself for Gemini season to be in dialogue with yourself for that whole time. I had a reading the other day where this reader, I'm talking to you guys about this stuff all the time, but this reader said to me so simply, she was like, Michael, don't be so upset by this, or don't be stressed out by this, because like you decided to do all of this shit, right? You wrote this script, you wrote this contract out, you decided to do it. So don't be so hard on yourself. Take stock of how this stuff feels in your body. Know that you're approaching later in the summer, Cancer season, giving yourself all the warm, nourishing, yummy, maternal feelings that you possibly can. And between now and then, you want to dialogue with yourself. You want to dialogue with the universe. You want to be able to be like, listen, universe, like, what the fuck? Come on! You know?
Yeah.
So just to make sure, so you see what I'm saying, that if you're asking the question during Gemini season, you're gonna get a bunch of answers, right? You're gonna get a bunch of answers.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a bunch of possibilities. So you probably then want to use what you've learned in Taurus season and just be like, which one of these answers or possibilities feels good in my body, feels good in my heart? And then if you want to use your head, you're asking a very simple question, which is, does this option present an opportunity for me to use my gifts in a more desirable way than previously, in a way that feels better in my body, in a way that removes not the people, but the annoying dynamics? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I would just
100%.
say, oh yeah, I was going to get you cards. Hold on one second. So now with work, pass with work. Okay, great. It's wonderful. So in terms of work, it says that you were the hermit. You were going it alone. You were keeping your head down, nose clean, and making your work practice a spiritual practice. Okay, well done. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
But you were isolating yourself. The card that comes up now says you are the actor, the man of wands. Okay, you're the actor. Hold on, you're the actor, but it's reversed. And what that means is it means you can't keep up the performance anymore. You can't keep pretending. Okay?
Yeah.
The next card that comes up is called Time and Space. In other decks, it's called Judgment, or in one deck that I love, it's called Metamorphosis, Time and Space. And the theory is that it's reversed here as well, which means that changes are coming. Most likely, this is probably the last thing you want to hear, but most likely they're not as dramatic as you think. Okay. I think that and based on what I'm seeing here, that it's actually possible for you to make this situation better. And P.S., I don't know if you heard the call with Marianne. Take the names of the people that you don't enjoy, that are irritating you, and give yourself a little window. I would say no more than 3 days, where you take those names and you put them in their own individual coffee cups and you fill them with water and you stick them in the freezer, and you cause that energy to chill the fuck out of your life. And then I didn't say this to Marianne.
Did you say 3 days?
I think 3 days with you. I don't think it should be more, because again, we're not trying to bind them eternally. We're not trying to do anything to another person, because that's black magic.
Yeah.
That's no bueno magic. If we do anything to anyone else, it will come back to us 100-fold. If you do it as a tool to enforce your own boundaries, I choose to remove all undesirable frequencies caused by so-and-so by placing them in this cup, putting the water in, and freezing it. I choose to remove all undesirable frequencies from this person, from my life, from my experience throughout all time and space and all timelines, put it in there, freeze it. I choose to remove this, And then the theory would be, don't keep it in there forever. Do it for 3 days and see what happens during those 3 days, and then see what happens when you take it out, when you defrost it, when you rinse it out, when you just, when it's over,
Okay.
And something that's good to know, I mean, you can say, I return this water to the earth with harm to none, or I return this spell to the earth with harm to none, no problems, no harm to anyone. Just to remember that it's not about the people, it's about my right to choose how I experience my life. Because then the thing is that, look, if they're poking at you, ding, 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 all you're trying to do is be like, what is my life like without what does it feel like? And look, some weird shit can happen with this. I've seen this happen before with this kind of little mini spell. Like, the day you do it, they all call in sick the same day, and you see what it's like being there, right? Or, so all sorts of weird stuff can happen. But the point here is that I feel like underneath this, there is a peaceable solution. and that things can change without having to change too dramatically. My sense here too, in terms of vacation, is that I don't think you'd be able to relax really anyway at this point. I don't think you'd really be able to go. And I think the amount of energy that it would take for you to go and do it, it would take as much energy to go on vacation as it would to, well, it would take more energy to go on vacation than it would to just try to figure this stuff out, you know?
Yeah. We were thinking about maybe Europe in October, November.
Perfect, darling. Perfect. And then the other idea would be, you know, like I said, do this with the universe. Shake your fist a little bit and be like, bitch, give me some answers or some possibilities during Gemini season so that in the beginning of June, I can make some decisions that make me feel better about myself. And then maybe end of June, or not end of June, sorry, pushing towards July 20th, you do a little baby staycation, you do something that's sweet. And that's my sense, is that I think by the time you get to their end of, you know, third week of July, second, third week of July, that you could go out on a date, you know, that you could go somewhere not even that dramatic and energetically feel different enough that you're like, wow, I feel like I'm on vacation, you know? So, so take heart, my love, and keep going.
Thank you.
You know, keep going.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for tuning in all
You're
the time.
welcome.
I
love it. I love it. Thank you.
Ciao. Okay. How sweet. How nice. How fun. Thanks, cuties, for tuning in, everyone. I just need a little bit of massage for it. Ooh, or I could just burn my arm hair off to clear and cleanse. Something I remembered, this is a fun tool from science class. The hottest part of the flame is the very tip of the flame, just the tip. So if you hold that there, it actually burns things more than if you try to hold it in the midst. Interesting. This is good. Yerba Santa. Okay. We are cute, you guys. I love you so much. 6:45. That was fun. Next caller. Rima. Fun. I wonder if you're there.
Of course I'm here.
Yay!
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart. Oh,
Hi. I love you. This is so fun.
You so fun. Well done. We're here. Nice to connect.
Yeah, totally. I have my mom here with me too.
Major. Hi. What's your mom's name?
Tess. Hey.
Hi. How are ya?
Marvelous. Thank you.
I want to look cute for you.
So my question, do you have something to say? Or
no. Do you have a question? You have anything else? Anything you want to get into? Anything you want to talk about today?
Okay, so yes. So my mom Tess and I drove to Vegas on Sunday, and I watched your Wednesday session on Sunday, and I've been, I found this man that I was like super into, and I was like, whoa, so many of the things that I thought like I would never see in another person, like all in one place. And that was really interesting. And I went to Canada, he's in Canada and there, and you know, it's long distance and all the things. And, you know, we talked about like his patterns and my patterns. And then I came home and just doing the normal thing and feeling my feelings and listening to your sessions and listening to the Sagittarius one, was starting to feel kind of like blown off by him, which I was digesting and like, okay, it's fine. And then I got to my Sagittarius one and it was like, the things that you want are like the low hanging fruit and just like take them. And I was like, you know what? I'm just like, go out and I'm just going to tell him some things and
then I just feel like now it was, I recognize that maybe my reaction was more based in like other aspects, you know, because I do a lot of energetic work and don't always do like some physical action. And I was like, well, this is the Taurus season, so let me practice physical action, and also really practicing like intentional dialogue and being really clear with my words. And I think that I kind of got some things like mixed up, and now I just kind of I feel like I've kind of perpetuated the space. And, you know, like at the same time, I'm like, well, I like, thank you so much, Spirit, for bringing me these things that I can see in this person, and I'm not fairly attached to the outcome, but also like, did I push this thing out or whatever? And I'm just really, I guess my question really is, so that's the scenario. So the question is like, how can I tell, how am I telling like what the reaction is in the moment, and like listening to my body, or is it the shame, or is it the frustration, or like I'm just having a hard time, like specifically in that situation, like reeling myself in and being like, okay, how much do I share with someone? What do I hold on to? What do I bit? How do I take a beat? And like, I feel like we talked about this too, that like my lesson is constantly to slow down, and I'm just like having a lot of conversation about that. And
so what's showing up energetically for you and around you is manifesting the energy of a corset, where there's something that feels like I feel vital depletion, right? No, that's a no-brainer. Like that's an obvious one, but this is the image that I'm seeing. So that it's the second and third chakra, and there's restriction around it, but also depletion within it. So my sense here, what I want to say to you is thank you for giving all of that background. The first question is, did you say too much too soon, or were you advocating for what feels good in your body? Right?
You're asking me that?
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit of a rhetorical question, but the question is...
Yeah, well, when I said it and I got it out and I like had a little cry, I was like, wow, this feels amazing. I feel great. And then it was like looking at it every other day being like, do I sound crazy?
No. And so it's a great question, but here's the thing. So you introduce it, you advocate for your body. So I think this is the confusion that you're experiencing is somewhere in between the Taurus as low-hanging fruit and Sagittarius as acting on the low-hanging fruit, okay? The theory with earth signs and with earth seasons is that we all have to fucking stare at the stuff. You know, we said it in the last caller about being in a museum and not being able to get out of the museum until you look at every single exhibit. What happens if you don't like what the museum's about? Now you got to spend a whole month looking at all of the items in the museum before you can get out of the museum, right? So the theory is that your Taurus season gave you an inventory of things as they are, right? And that you were taking stock and you were looking at the resources, looking at the inventory, all of that stuff, right? And that what you then chose to do about that is less about the Taurian influence and more about the fiery influence. It's less about the earth and more about you, right? So the theory would be, because the activation and the movement and the motion and what you do to get the fruit would be the fiery side of the earth element. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So all I'm saying here, and then again, we said this with the last caller too, if you think about, you've gotten this inventory, you took stock of it, you were like, damn, this feels good. I like this. My body likes this. My body likes this enough to go to Canada for a time. Like, this is good, right? You can't let anyone else's inconsistency ever compromise your advocacy for what feels good in your body. I know you know that. I know you know that, right? So that's the first thing that you can reframe here, is that as I see this, you acted on the information that you gathered from Taurus season. I don't think it was out of alignment. I think it was authentic. I think that your acting on the information proves that core shame is not very influential here, because you were willing to make yourself vulnerable. You were willing to put yourself out there, and you were willing to articulate what feels good in your body, whether it's accepted, received, or rejected, right? Fair?
Yeah.
Shame, victory. It's a shameless victory, right? It's like a Mortal Kombat. Shameless victory, right? So that's good. The challenge is, well, bitch, why didn't you text back? Like, why aren't you calling me? Like, what the fuck is going on? Okay. So same thing we said to the last caller. Take heart. Gemini season will bring more communication. Okay. Let me just double check. Gemini season. Yes. Gemini season will bring more communication. The card that I pulled for you here is the Magician, which says that Gemini season will bring more communication for you the moment you lock into, I mean, won't say the moment, but Gemini will bring more communication for you from this person, between you and this person, as you crystallize the authority that you were acting on what your body was telling you, and there's no shame in that. There's absolutely no shame in that. There's absolutely no shame in that. So then we go to this corset that's showing up here. It's around the second and third chakra. What feels good, and how do I act on what feels good? Technically, it's like second chakra is connected with the water element. And so, but the idea of what feels good in my body is the accounting for the earth. The body doesn't necessarily feel those things. It registers the impulses. It's the second chakra that does the feeling. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the corset energy that they're showing around the second and third chakra is like, am I fucking spilling out all over the place? Do I have like chicken cutlets hanging out? Do I got muffin tops here? Or am I locked and loaded? Am I snatched? Am I serving you like the figure that I want to be serving? Does that make sense?
Kind of.
So that is a metaphor, as the metaphor for the corset. So what I'm saying is that the way your guides are showing this is that ultimately the discrepancy here is between taking ownership over the actions you've taken with your solar plexus based on the feelings that you were having, that you inquired into both organically and analytically during Taurus season inside of your body. So that's the primary circuit. This feels good in my body, so I've chosen to speak up about it, declare how good this feels in my body, in the hopes that I can continue these good feelings in my body, right? Make sense?
Yes.
No shame there, none at all. So then the question of the corset becomes, but is it snatched? Am I a fucking slob? Am I all over the place? Did I let out too much? Do I have chicken fat hanging out here? Am I messy? Is this messy? Am I messy? And all I'm saying here, my love, is that you are, when I think of you, I do not think of corsets, right? I think of like gravity-defying, aquiline articulation of angles and forms and shapes. And like, when Kim Kardashian went to the Met Gala, she was like, I had to take breathing classes to be able to breathe in this corset. Like, I don't, I'm sure you'd look great in a corset, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it's in full alignment with the essence of your being, the essence of your nature, the essence of your divine feminine expression, your divine masculine expression, your divine angelic expression. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So in a way, lovingly, your guides are like, do you care more about the alignment within your body or the presentation of that alignment in the world around you? Okay, so that's the soul-based part of it. Okay, that's the soul-based part of it. My gut says you have nothing to worry about here. You didn't do anything fucking crazy. And then the Magician being pulled here says you get confirmation that you are in alignment as soon as you decide that you are in alignment, as soon as you call back whatever sloppy parts you feel might be hanging out and be like, girl, I prefer you to a corset. I would rather be saying too much, advocating for my body, advocating for what feels good in my body, in my heart, in my mind, than concerned about the shape that I'm presenting. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So honor that. That's
Yeah.
okay, great. Okay, next. I just want to see what do you need to know about the experience present? There is a sense here of great. So there's a sense here of soul relationship, which is something that we talk about all the time, but that usually means that learning the lesson here is more important than sustaining the relationship here. There is potential for more good relationship, more good feeling in the future. When I pull into this, so what I see here is I see that on the soul level, you guys are both like masters teaching each other. On the soul level, you're both students seeking each other. You've existed before as teachers and students, teachers and students, teachers and students, teachers and students. Now, in this time, in this life, equal to equal, equal to equal, equal to equal. I feel a staggering equality here. Okay. Really interesting. Oh, yep. Yes. Oh, balance, right? Staggering equality. Problem is, it's reversed. Okay. So what that means is that it's all there. This brings us to the middle cards that we pulled for you here, which is just to say that this person, it's the Five of Swords, is dealing with kind of like a clangy mental energy. They have a lot of thoughts, a lot of clanging thoughts into their head. And then there's another card here which says that you pushed their mother button. You pushed their mama button. Okay. And I would say,
I've been feeling that.
You feel that? You feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that what's going on here, I would say that what's going on here is that you introduced a higher frequency of maternal energy into this person's life without, what were you doing in all of this? Yep. And girl, what this says is that all you were trying to do is keep it interesting, is have fun, is shake yourself up, get out of your comfort zone. Seven of Swords reversed is like, no more boring. I am instigating, I am aggravating, and I'm doing it effectively and organically and consciously, right? I'm consciously stirring my shit up. That you did that, in Taurus season, is you probably got a little tail end of Aries that propelled you into stirring your shit up. But the theory here is that you did the quality of energy and the quality of light that you brought to this person, I feel like broke a lot of the maternal rules that they were trained to follow. Okay. And that you high key short circuited their mother. You short circuited their motherboard. I did not say that. You short circuited the motherboard. So the theory is that here you are having fun. Look, remember, we've said this before in our work together, that healing and spiritual growth is a matter of expansions and breakthroughs followed by stabilizations and calm downs, right? And then expansion and breakthrough, stabilization and calm down. My sense here is that you were in a really deep place with this person, but that you were doing a really good job of keeping it light. And keeping it free and keeping it easy. And then I don't think you then made it heavy. I think you then just made it very real. And I think in making it real, you broke a lot of rules that this person's not supposed to break, specifically around the magician. It's literally like, I think that this person has something inside of them that makes them afraid of their fundamental potential. It makes them freaked out about because the magician is really interesting. The magician is not about stepping into your power. It's about stepping into the true understanding of the true nature of your power, right? That we're all co-creators, that none of us is an island. We're not the emperor, we're the magician, right? We're not in charge. We are a servant of the light. We're working with the forces, and we can make anything happen because of that. I think you dropped that into this person's lap, and you were like, hey, this is what it looks like to be bold about the truth. Do you want to live in the light, or do you want to live in obscurity? Get back to me, right? And it feels that chill, and it feels that casual, even, that casually real. So everything I'm getting from this is like, yeah, you did it. So you did it. This is the player, right? All these kids, fun people. This is you, babe. This is you. So the idea is go back to being the player. Don't be a mom. Go back to being a player. That's not to say go, fuck everybody, but it's to say, do not be so hard on yourself. Do not be so do not pick yourself apart about this. I mean, I feel like we just covered a lot of bases with this. So I certainly hope you don't feel like you were extra or like you had chicken fat hanging out of your Spanx, which is a sexy look too. It's just like anything that she should know. Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, there is an element of this where I say anything that you should know, right? Which is that maybe was extra, right? Or that maybe was too intense. And I didn't even look at this card. I just saw one thing on it right away. Oh, do you see her? Do you see her? Full Pregger's mama, right? The preserver.
Yes.
Okay. So all I would say here is that most likely your pheromones were like, I could have your babies. And I don't think you had any control over that. I don't think there's any way that you could have toned that down. I think this is Taurus season also. You're advocating for your body. Your body's like potential mate, potential mate, potential mate, potential mate. Like that's very Taurian. And so then I don't think you acted hastily on the information that you were getting. I think all the cards and all the information here says that you were pretty airy, pretty light, pretty breezy, and that what we're actually dealing with here is between this person's assessment of what's happening when it's happening, and then this big Empress mother trigger that's been pushed. So all I would say is send prayers, send warmth, send love, send energies of maturation, like grow the fuck up energies. Like, I hope you grow up sometime during Gemini season. And that's what I would say to you. I would say, have fun, detach, and look, and by all means disagree with me, but the channel's nice and thick and open now. This feels like the energy of don't even try to get through to this person during Gemini season. Hold space for yourself for Cancer season, being like, that's the time of mamas. I am in a phase in my life now where I am shifting my focus away from what do I got to do, who do I got to be, and into what am I here to create, what am I here to nourish, what am I here to sustain long term, what am I building, what am I leaving for the children, what children am I leaving? All of those kind of bigger dynamics. So my sense would be like, cool. Basically, low-key, high-key, I'm ready to step fully into the fullest embodiment of my maternal energy. Mama Tess, who's there now, I don't know how old you are. It doesn't fucking matter. But I would say start thinking about your croning. When is it time for your croning ceremony? When is it time for you to shed the mantle of needing to be the matriarch so hardcore so that you can ascend into the higher frequency of the matriarch who doesn't need to be corseted ever, who doesn't need to maintain decorum ever, who could literally like take a dump outside the house and be like, you bitches don't even know. I'm the crone. I understand. Like, you need to be alive for like 30 more years before you understand what I could tell you to explain to you what just happened. Okay, so it's time. Oh, one of my favorite things too from this energy is that I had a great discussion with a friend of mine ages ago, the hermitess as an archetype. Mama, oh, hermitess! Okay, so what this means, Mama
Wow.
Tess, is that
Yeah.
at some point in this year, you got to do a solitary journey of some kind. You got to go somewhere where you don't have to talk to the babies, where you don't have to deal with the kids or all the children. You got to go somewhere where you transcend maiden, mother, and crone, and just dance with the goddess and connect with the goddess and connect with the great cosmic mother energy. And then the theory would be, I don't know if that's necessarily your croning. My sense is that it's more like a vision quest, and then you come back from the vision quest with clarity on what your croning actually is. Does that make sense?
Love it. Love it. Thank you.
You bet. I think we're done here.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's my sincere pleasure.
I love you.
I love you too. Yeah. Take care of each
Thank
other.
you.
Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
This is exciting. Okay. Got a few more of you. Cool. Oh. Paula, did you see this? Mashibalingo.
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
Hi, gorgeous. It's your girl, Brooklyn.
Hey, how you doing, babe?
I'm so good. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Same here. What can I do you for today? Thank you for sending me all of the good stuff from Alok today too. That's so exciting that they're doing a show out there.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for that too. I wish I was in Texas.
I know, same. Well, I don't know.
I mean, not permanently, but like for that.
Yeah, for that. That would be exciting. I love Texas. John Hill's one of my fave Tex friends, and I have some family in Texas, but yeah, no, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, there's a show by an amazing activist, trans activist and performer that's happening there that we were talking about. Okay, so what can I do you for today? You have questions or anything you want to talk about or get into today?
I just really want to see like what messages y'all have for me, you know, like it's literally like so different from when I saw you last August in New York.
Yummy. Okay, let's
check. Yeah. I feel like I'm in this like healing sound bath almost, and you know, like my thing is like radical dedication to self-care.
Yes, yum.
And I just like I know that I'm supposed to help and heal people and make them happy, but like there's so many people to help and heal and make happy in this world right now. Like I just need like some focus.
No, totally.
You know?
Totally. Let's just see what this is about. Okay. Interestingly enough, what comes up are your knees. And this just tells us that there is that there's a transformation in process
Mm-hmm.
which is being met with some resistance. And this is so interesting because I don't think of you this way at all. You always seem so game to me, for all the changes
Right.
and all of the healing and all of the magic and all of that stuff. What this actually feels like is that, well, it's almost like you want to rush to teaching radical self-care before you finished your own radical self-care. So don't rush. But the other side of it is just that the knees are about ego structures, right? In our practice, they're about the ways in which we think of ourselves, the ways in which we identify. And the theory here is that there's almost a little something of like, okay, all you want to do is step fully into yourself as a healer, into yourself as a transmitter of light, into, all of that. But the question is, what needs to end? What has to stop? Right? And it's not necessarily about circumstances. It's not necessarily about actions. It's more about ways in which you think about yourself. Okay, so example from our own practice is was really trippy when well, I'll tell you about my mom. My mom had a restaurant for 25 years. She sold the restaurant. She's now finally getting knee surgery, right? So it's like, now that she doesn't have the restaurant, she's got to completely change the way that she thinks about herself. She's no longer that person exclusively. She's no longer a restaurateur like that. And it's really interesting because before she got the surgery too, I was talking to her, we were at a dinner party, and she starts talking about how at my restaurant, such and such a thing happens. And, this is where we get our food. And she was talking about it like she still had the restaurant. Okay. And I wasn't going to call her out in front of all her friends, but I wanted to be like, yo, like, you're not that person anymore. Okay. So the question I would ask you here is what person are you not anymore? Right? Who are you not anymore? Who and what have you been dependent on in the past for your self-concept that you're no longer dependent on? If, some people too define themselves through relationships, or some people define themselves through work. So it's like, if you take a high-powered, executive professional and take their job away, it's bad enough that they're unemployed, but they don't know who they are anymore. Okay. So the theory is with you is, like I said, I don't think you're done taking care of yourself. I think you need to keep practicing your radical self-care until you experience a stable death and rebirth, until you start feeling almost like panicky about like, wait, but if I'm not that person anymore, then who am I? Let me see. What is the dynamic of that wants to go, that wants to die? Yeah, again, what I want to say is it's a general insecurity, a general fear, but that I want to say it's a fear that results from some kind of dependency, either on people, places, or things, okay? And I think we've talked about before, your network, your community, your neighborhood, your people around you, and I would just say there, like, who do those people need you to be? Who do the people around you need you to be? And are you comfortable being that person? Someone once said to me, I talk about this all the time, that, anybody who's queer, anybody who's non-binary, anybody who's gender non-conforming, trans, knows what spirituality is, because we've all had some awareness of who we are inside, and then recognizing that we might be in a situation that's not ideally hospitable to who we are inside. And yet we work up the strength, the fortitude, the communication, the network, the support, whatever, to be able to declare our truth, to come out, okay? So I think the question here is, if you were to come out as a supreme healer, right, as one who's just here to do their dharma, to work the light, to use their gifts, to take care of themselves and others, who would be threatened by this? Who would be freaked out by this? Who needs you to stay the same? And what dynamics, what energies encourage you to stay the same? Okay. And the theory would be is to look at that and to figure out and to almost like, ooh, funny, my guides are showing me we're getting very hoodoo today, right? There's almost like, my niece ages ago had us do this like a kindergarten thing where we all had to take a picture with like a character from a children's book, and then she had to do this presentation. So I'm seeing the character. You need like a doll or an effigy or a journal in which you keep notes about who this person is that you no longer identify with, what they are dependent on that you no longer are dependent on, who people need you to be that you don't want to fucking be anymore. And the theory here would be to infuse either a journal, a paper, a picture, a doll. You could even keep a lump of clay, and every time you learn something new about who you are not anymore, you add to this effigy, you add to this doll, or it could be a pillow that every time you learn something new, you charge some seeds or some lavender or some cotton or whatever and stuff it in the pillow. The whole point is that you're adding to this concept of not self, of who I am not anymore. And then magically, I would say probably on the summer solstice is when you want to do this, when the sun goes into Cancer. So about a month from now, magically you burn the effigy. You burn that self, and I can't tell if that completes the transformation or what exactly. It feels like that would complete the transformation, but in a weird way, it's almost like you're going so hard in the direction of forward transformation, but there's still some kind of weight pulling on you. So what you're doing is not paying attention to the forward transformation, paying attention to the past inertia. What is preventing me from transforming? What is preventing me from fully embodying my new self? Well, it would naturally be my old self is preventing me from embodying that, right? So all you're doing is trying to wrap your head around who you used to be so that you can formally acknowledge the dissolution and release of that being. I like this for Cancer season too, because it's about the idea of dependency. And Cancer season provides us all the nourishment and nurturance that we need. So the theory here would be like, you want to look at not self, who feels afraid or insecure or dependent on people, places, or things or dynamics, so that you can build that up and burn it so that you can basically develop healthier dependencies, right? On your self-care practice, on the usage of your gifts, it just feels to me like you're trying to pull the chrysalis off the butterfly.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
wow.
Patience, love. But now, fuck patience. Don't be patient. Do different work. Turn around, look behind you, pay attention to who you're not. And internally, even today, maybe you'll get some of it today, but no, honestly, I think you're going to get more of this information through Gemini season, where people will start talking to you like you're who they need you to be. And then you feel it in your body and in your mind being like, I'm not that person anymore. That's something to write down. That's something to add to this. The other way of thinking of this is just so you don't stress. I mean, I like the idea of you writing it on an index card or writing in a journal or doing whatever. But the idea would be that by the time you get to the summer solstice, you want it to be meaningful when you burn whatever you're going to burn. The alternative would be don't keep notes, don't take tabs, and just once you get to the summer solstice, you do a ceremony where you burn all of, the not selves that are no longer in alignment with your truth. But you see how that would work, and it would work because it's magic, but it wouldn't necessarily be as powerful because you haven't necessarily done the practice of working with your self-concept and figuring out who you're not. Make sense?
Yes,
Okay, good.
absolutely.
Good. So pump it all into something that can be burned in the end, either a doll or a pillow or a, clay something or other. Could be even very rudimentary. It could be, I guess you're not really going to burn a crystal, but it could be something. It could be a cross, or it could be a wand. It could be anything that you charge with that energy so that when you watch it burn, you know that all of the not self that you've infused into whatever it is going away. Okay?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, they're just that's the other thing I would say to you. I love your alignment with radical self-care. We believe in radical self-care here, but what that means is it means to take care of yourself even when you think you shouldn't and even when you think it's impossible. It doesn't mean to go hard all the fucking time, right? It doesn't mean rip the chrysalis off the butterfly. And in case we've never said this to you before, we practice a 50-50 proposition in terms of spiritual practice. 50% seeking, finding, working, spells, candles, crystals, all this stuff. 50% living your damn life. Period. So
yeah, I think I'm trying to make up for a lot of lost time. I understand exactly what you're saying.
There is no such thing as lost time. There are more opportunities. Maybe you won't have the opportunity in this life, but I said this to a caller earlier today. A reader said it to me and I needed to hear it. So maybe you need to hear it too. You chose this path. You don't have to rush. Even if you don't check all the boxes off, you will have an opportunity to check all the boxes off, right? You rushing, you hurrying it along is just going to stress you out. And someone else said this to me. We don't get to skip stages, but I also think we don't get to rush stages. Well, sometimes, no, we don't have to rush stages. It's like, if you take your time doing what you need to do right now and clearing the not selves, then hopefully, what I'm feeling is by the time you're like, okay, I've been spending so much time dealing with shedding these not selves. You're like, cool, done with that. And then you turn forward to be like, okay, back to the metamorphosis. And then you're like, OMG, metamorphosis complete? When did that happen? That happened when I was working on something else. So don't be so extreme about timing and time. Go with the flow. The pace is going to quicken, and you're going to get insights even tomorrow when Mercury conjuncts Gemini. So I would actually say you're better. Look, listen to me. I'm like trying to channel it. Your guides are like, slow down, slow down, slow down. One day at a time. But even what I'm hearing them say is every other day at a time. It's like you're allowed to go hard one day, but then the next day you got to not go hard at all. Okay. Look, it's also, if you even think about like, just basic pharmacology. Obviously, I'm not a medical professional at all. But the idea of, well, my dad was, when he was on all of his heart medications, it's like he had so many drugs that he was taking that anytime they adjusted a dose, most of the other doses of the drugs had to be adjusted as well. So if what your guides are saying here is that there's an element of dependency in these not selves, you also can't go cold turkey. You gotta learn what you're dependent on or what is no longer serving you, and then wean yourself off of it. Introduce something else in that might feel better, and then clear it out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I love you.
I
You're
love
the
you too,
best.
dear. All right, so bring your hands to your heart center. We're going to just ask that you are cleansed, cleared, consecrated. Pressing your hands together, feeling a beautiful straight line going from the crown of your head through those centered hands, all the way down through your pelvis, all the way down into the center of Mother Earth, feeling that line plugging into the center of Mother Earth. And then we'll take a few deep breaths together, and that'll be the end of our call together, while you'll breathe energy into the heart and then down into the earth. So in through the crown, feeling it pool in the heart, and then out, down into the earth. Once more into the heart, out, down into the earth. Once more in the heart, and then down into the earth. Let yourself feel nice. Rather now, beautiful guides and guardians, let us both be grounded perfectly in our highest good healing now. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. One more deep breath in and out. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Thank you, Angel.
Oh, love you.
Love you so much. We'll
I'll
talk
see you
to
when you
soon.
come to New York.
Yay, see you soon.
Bye.
Bye, hon. Okay, cool. Yay. Okay, got a couple of you left. I'm trying to deal with the ring light because that's hell of annoying. Let's see. Is there a new setup? No, this is what we're doing. This is how it's gonna be. I wish I could make this zoom, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. Okay, it's just gonna be how it is. Next caller. Next caller. Next caller. Okay. We got 2 more calls left, and then we're done. I don't know if they're still here. They're probably gone.
Hello.
Hi there. Who am I talking to? Hello? Hello?
Oh, no, wait, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Hello?
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 Hello? Can you hear me? You can't hear me?
No, but I can actually hear you through the live transmission, so we'll make this work.
Okay, wait, let me try you. Let me just try calling you back real quick, okay? Let me try once.
Hello?
Hey, how about now?
I can hear you. Hello.
Hi, how's it going? Who's this?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. Who am I speaking to, though?
Dia, sorry.
Hi, Dia. How you doing?
Good,
Great.
good. We spoke actually in the last transmission. I'm doing amazing.
No, I remember. What can I do you for today? You have questions? You have comments, concerns, anything? What's up?
Kind of concerned. So moving forward. So from the last time we spoke, I really focused on my son. He's been doing meditation. He's like really into his own zone. And it's funny. So I've been on my own, I guess, path and journey. And I feel like I've come to a decision where I want to move out of New York and try to start a new, I guess, chapter.
Wow.
And not that I'm nervous about it. I'm actually really excited about it. And I can see how it should be able to work out. But I guess I was just kind of excited. I wanted to see what your guys kind of feel about it.
You bet. I love it. And what's exciting is that I pulled a bunch of cards, but I actually don't want to look at them. What I want to note is just that most of them are reversed. All of them are reversed, except for the last one, which just says that you've got this well, we've been talking to everybody about Taurus into Gemini today, right? So you're in a yummy place where you're like, this body feels like it's ready to leave New York and do something that is much more desirable, right? I know how this feels. I know that I'm ready for a change. What I don't know yet is like everything else, right? I like don't have a lot of information, okay? So before I go dive, I'm not even going to go diving into the cards unless we absolutely have to, but the theory here is just that you get the next month of Gemini season to put this desire in your heart. I don't know if you heard the call that we had a while back about shaking your fist at the universe. You get to hold this in your heart every day. Oh, I would even say put it on a Post-it, put it on your mirror in the morning so that you have something that reminds you of what you're going to do that has nothing to do with logic, that just feels really good, that feels like a good idea. And so that every time, so it would be like, if it's a business, what's the name of the business? Or if it's a town that you want to move to, you put the name of the town. Or if it's just a project, you put, you give it a special name like Project like 77, and then you put Project 77 on the Post-it. And then every time you see Project 77, you gotta kiss it 3 times, right? So that you're like, I love this idea. I love Project 77. This is my shit. This is my jam. Universe, higher self, higher power, all that is, give me my options. Show me options. If this is meant to be, make it work, make it easy, and let this month of Gemini be an opportunity for me to hold it in my heart as though it's already manifested and basically spitball and test it out in the world around me. So I've seen this happen. This is like definition of magic. I've seen it happen many, many times where you're holding it. Plenty of people are like, oh, it'll never happen. I can't do it. Da, 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 da. You already know it's possible. So you've already felt it in your heart. But people are like, well, it's not working. And it's like, well, because you haven't let it into your heart. It's not saying that anybody's doing anything wrong. I'm just saying, when you let it into your heart, people come up to you and they're like, would you like to collaborate on such and such a thing? And it's like, how did you know that? I'm holding that in my heart right now. Like, what? Where did this come from? So my point is that because all of these cards are reversed, it's like you've gotten an idea of how good it could be and how good it would feel. But the idea needs a lot more clarification. And so all I'm saying today is don't wait for clarity to want this, to believe in it, and to let it like beat in your heart. Let it beat in your heart and then open it up to the Gemini season, to the universe, to yourself. And I'm saying you do that by connecting with the feeling of Project 77 or whatever you decide to call it, whatever you put on the Post-it, whatever you put, I would say put it on the mirror in your bathroom or in your bedroom, put it in the visor of the car so that whenever you need a little dose of Project 77, you get it. And my point is that that's what makes it beat in your heart. And then it's like, you don't even actually have to say, oh, universe, please show me the signs. We're having that conversation right now. So as long as you give yourself that physical anchor to touch. Oh, P.S., this is why people make medicine pouches too. You get a little purse, a little pouch. I have like 50 million of them over here, little jewelry bags or whatever. And you put
like the little satchels?
Exactly, like tiny ones. Hold on, I'll show you. Like this little guy. Right?
Okay, yeah.
And you put crystals in there that are for, well, look, like whatever you think this project needs, right? Put one in there for funds, but put one in there for relationships. Put one in for, put a little picture of someone who's been successful in the same business. Color out their face, but put the energy in there. You see what I'm saying? So you're basically making, it's the same principle, whether it's a Post-it on your mirror that you kiss 3 times, or a bag of stuff that you seal and hold and touch. And you don't even have to open it, but every time you touch it, it's triggering that desirable energetic feedback, that ideal frequency that says, this is already mine. I have it. This is what it feels like. This isn't about like, if I'm clear enough, will it manifest? This is about, it is manifest in my heart. Universe, keep up, make it clear. And then that's the way that you get traction, where you end up getting not just insight that I can give you here, but insight that you need to know if it's worth it, and to know how to balance your life out, your family life out, how to make this move happen, how to make all of that happen. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
oh my gosh, everything you're saying though, I feel like I partially already do. So I carry around a little bag of crystals, but usually I do more like protection. But there's usually clear quartz, maybe a little amethyst in there. I switch it up once in a while, but I'm gonna have to think of fun, good for traveling, maybe.
that's what
Switch up the stones that are in there.
Exactly. And what I'm saying, it's traveling, but it's also, I think it's about, what is the business? What is the project? What is the move? How do you want it to make you feel? What are you looking for outside of New York? So maybe what you're looking for is, nature. And then you use or water or desert, right? So then you put a desert stone,
Okay.
or you put I'm trying to remember, there's a stone that looks like a tree that I can't remember, or petrified wood, right? Whatever it is, it has to mean something to you. And the difference between the crystal satchel that you carry about and a medicine pouch is that a medicine pouch is like a spell where all of these things have meaning in it. You're very conscious about putting the things in, charging them with love, charging them with energy. And then every time you pick it up, you love this spell, you love this project, you love this idea, you charge it up with more energy, and it starts to give that energy back to you. So basically what it does is it connects you with the manifestation of what you're desiring, while bypassing all of the annoying, quote unquote, realities of life on Earth. It's basically a way for you to exist and so the difference is that your crystal pouch is for yourself, your body, and your experience. A pouch for this would be to make this happen ideally. What I'm saying is that maybe you don't even need to make a whole medicine pouch for this. I was seeing you initially with a little placard in your room, in your car, maybe on your desk, so that you don't have to carry another bag around with you, so that every time you see it, you have to do the same thing. You see?
Okay.
And then that's like a spell, so that no matter what, you are forcing yourself every time you do this physical action anchored with this physical object. Every time you do this, you're activating the love of this goal, the love of this move, the love of this project. And that's the way that you refine and make sure that you're only working towards what you want and not towards what you don't want. You see?
Yeah.
Okay, what else do you need to know about this? Yep, get clear on it and it appears clearly. They're just trying to let you know here that you have figured out how to tame the beast within that makes you crazy. You have figured out, like, to some extent, the solution to your problems, but you don't totally have the power to follow through with those solutions right now. You got to get clearer. But the card that shows up here is the Seeker reversed, and it just says, like, no, there's an element of this where if you wait until you see clearly, and the way you do that is by anchoring yourself spiritually through these physical practices all throughout the month of Gemini. But then, like I said, keeping your eyes peeled, keeping your heart vibing high so that you draw what you need to make this change to you now, as opposed to waiting for it to happen. And then the theory is that you don't even need to make all the changes. You just need to become clear on what all those changes ultimately are. And then this card literally says, like, you find what you've been seeking. You land, long-term
Okay.
possibilities of this. Yeah, again, long-term possibilities of this. All these fucking cards are reversed, which tells us that it's all there. It's all under the surface. I'm not even bothering reading into them because I would just be giving you too much information that you haven't come to yourself yet. The theory is that
Okay.
it can go really well. We just don't know what it is actually yet. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Actually.
Well, that's exactly kind of where I feel I am right now.
Which is perfect. Do you see why it's the perfect place to be between Taurus and Gemini?
Yeah.
So the great thing to remember about Gemini is that Gemini will introduce a lot of questions and a lot of problems, and it will introduce just as many solutions and possibilities, but then it will introduce more questions and more problems and more solutions and more possibilities. So let it be a season that goes options, so that then when we get to Cancer season, it's like, which one of these options actually feels like it would taste good, feel good, nourish me long term? Okay.
That is awesome. You're so funny because this week we're actually going to go visit one side of Florida that we haven't visited yet to see if it's an option to go move to. And then we're going to kind of think it out and choose which side we like better between the West Coast or the East Coast. That's
so
exactly where we're
funny!
at.
So it's like West, so that's literally Gemini. So what I would say is, if possible, you want to make sure that on some day, not every day, but on some day after you're done with this side, that you go over to the other side directly, and then you compare and contrast and talk about it as a family, but don't make any decisions that day.
Okay.
You initiate the dialogue between the left brain and the right brain, the left coast and the right coast. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's Tampa and Fort Lauderdale, like areas, but they are complete one side, the other side.
It's so interesting. I love that for you. Well, enjoy the journey, enjoy the seeking, enjoy the dialogue, enjoy the communication. Hey, good thing to know here too is bring the family into the conversation to the nth degree, especially the baby, where you say, what do you think? What do you feel? What does your gut say? Which vibe do you like better? Remembering that that's a good thing to ask with the kid, right? Is what's the vibe? What does this place feel like to you? How do you feel about this? Do you like the frequency here? Do you like the culture? The atmosphere, the environment? All of those words are words that your kid is likely very plugged into and will respond to. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right, my love. Thank you. We gotta go.
You have a great night. Thank you so much. Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Bye. Wow. Last caller. I hope you're still there, last caller. Who dis? Okay. Last caller. Last caller. Last caller. My girls came in during the show.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me? No?
Yes, I can hear you. Hold on. Let
Yay.
me move the computer and turn the phone up.
Okay, great.
It's me, last caller.
Yay, last caller.
This is Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. Oh, yay. I'm glad you made it. What's up?
Thank you.
Questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to know about?
Yes. So I recently got kind of like a download that came out of nowhere, career related, kind of similar to what you're going through with stopping your one-on-one readings and it kind of coming out of left field and being like, what, really this? And so the download was kind of something I never thought that I would want, and I don't really know what to make of it. And simultaneously, I've been seeing a lot of synchronicities with numbers and numerology.
Love it.
And I keep seeing
2-2 everywhere, all the time, all day, every day. So I just kind of don't know what to make of it. I don't feel like I'm being patient with, you know, the decision that I would make with this sort of like career-related thing would involve a move potentially, but it wouldn't happen until towards the end of the year. So I'm being patient with that, and I don't feel like I need to rush to make a decision, but I just don't really know.
Well, what I get
what to
here,
make of
I
it
love
all.
that you're not
Yeah.
rushing, because that's what I was going to say to you next. I'll tell you about the numbers in a second. What I heard clairaudiently was, and I felt this energy around the upper thighs, right? Which is a very specific portion where it just sort of says that in order for you to, that this is necessary to move forward. I mean, that's what I wrote. It's necessary to move forward. That the download came, the change is coming, because in order for you to move forward, these circumstantial changes want to occur. Okay? So the other side of it is that there's going to be more changes after that, right? And why does synchronicity occur? Synchronicity occurs in order to, we said this earlier in the show today, to take a horizontal timeline and cut through the horizontal timeline with infinity and eternity, right? Space and timeline, infinity and eternity. When it cuts through, there's a point of intersection. And the theory is that point of intersection is the synchronicity. And that someone maybe, I don't like saying this, but let's say someone who is less sensitive or less attuned to these synchronicities will experience them and not notice them, okay? Synchronicity is not meaningful in and of itself. Synchronicity is an opportunity for us to recognize meaning, okay? So the twos don't show up because they're just trying to tell you something. The twos are showing up because they're trying to tell you something that you already know, right? They're trying to show you an opportunity for meaning that you then confirm or deny with your heart. Theory is also, when you think about animal synchronicities, animal medicine, if every fucking pigeon that crosses your field of vision is a message from God, you become a crazy person, right? I hear the echo. It's funny. If every pigeon that crosses your path is a message from God, you become a crazy person. But when a pigeon like lands on your foot while you're chilling on the beach and looks at you and goes, whoo, right? That's probably a synchronicity, probably a message. You see what I mean? Are you there? Hello? Did I lose you?
Yes. Sorry, I hear you better on the computer. Can you hear me?
No problem. Yeah, as long as you can hear me. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. I hear you better on the computer, so I was listening on the computer, and it's hard to hear on the phone.
Okay, no problem. But just as long as you can tell me if you're hearing me, okay? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So the theory is that, so the synchronicity is just creating the opportunity for you to ascribe meaning to a moment. The example from our own self is that we actually went through a moment where I didn't feel like I was experiencing very many synchronicities. I felt a little bit out of the flow. I felt a little bit unplugged. I felt tired. I was emotional. I was doing a lot of deep work. But then I started paying attention to this thing inside of me. And it was like, oh, I got to make this decision. I got to make this decision. And now, as I'm preparing to leave LA, it's crazy how things are falling into place. It's crazy how even better example, when I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do when I stop making my income off of one-on-one readings? I didn't have the answer. But when I went, you know what? I've decided this is it. This is what's happening. I give spirit. I hear the message. Then that very day, 3 different conversations occurred where I figured out ways that I could bring in other income that I've actually been wanting to do for years, right? One of them, obvious one, is to make guided meditations for you guys, to give you something that's 5-10 minutes long, that resets your energy, that does whatever. Like, I would listen to myself tell me to calm down, you know? So like, so it was something as simple as that. But the point of it is that if we only made decisions when we knew they were a sure thing, we would have no reason to trust, we would have no reason to have faith, we would have no reason to believe in anything. When we make a decision based on our hearts, right, which is the thing that verifies the synchronicity. I've been saying it to experience members for ages now, right? Don't listen to what I say. Listen to what your heart resonates with all the shit that's coming out of my mouth, right? I'm just going to keep... I want to know what does resonate with you. I want to know what doesn't resonate with you. But I especially want to know what does, because that's the magic of this, is that I can be talking to all of you guys at once, and you're each grabbing something. And it's not about me being a fierce reader. It's that we're doing something that's making your lives better, right? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's through the heart,
Yeah.
okay? It's through the heart. And so my point is that when you make a decision based on the heart with no verifiable three-dimensional evidence for that decision, but you just fucking know you got to make that decision. I always say to you guys, the only truths that really matter are the ones that cannot be explained or don't need to be explained or don't need to be justified to anyone else, the shit that you just know. But what happens when you sort of kind of think you know, but you don't know if you really know inside of your heart of hearts? Well, welcome synchronicity. The synchronicity opportunities appear. They appear, and they're just asking for your heart to recognize them. And when you think about the heart in terms of the human body, it's the cross point. 3 centers above it, 3 centers below it. This is the intersection of the timeline and the infinite. This is where the eternal comes down into the body. So the point is that you're getting these synchronicities for the same reason that once I made the decision to change and to go and to be excited about it, all the things started falling into place. So typically, what do I recommend with synchronicity? You acknowledge them, you say thank you, you say I'm open to this message, I'm receiving this message, I don't fucking know what it means, but I'm not just gonna sweep it under the rug. I'm gonna go, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you. Plenty of people will say what they think repeating numbers are. I'm always very resistant to like the one list by the one person that's like, well, this is what 111 means. But like, no, what if 111 means something different to me next Tuesday? It actually matters that I know 111 means something. And then I go into my heart and I go, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, 111. Thank you, angels. Thank you, whoever the fuck is doing this. Thank you. I see you. I love you. I get it. Heart. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? And then you try to distill your own meaning. But you're calling in for the tea. And I'm going to tell you what I got intuitively, and the way I interpret twos, usually in repeating twos, is it's choice time, Babela. It's time for a choice. Fork in the road. Left side, right side, left side, right side. And then we go back to the last call that we did too, right? Gemini are the twins. So the 2 could mean you got to choose between the left path or the right path. But the way we're going to spit it for you is that during Gemini season, perfect time to go, I see the choice. I see the fork in the road. Now we're going to begin an existence-wide dialogue about left side, right side, left side, right side. Do we go this way or that way? 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 And the idea is that Gemini season wants to have that conversation rapidly so that the frequency picks up. And now we've dialogued about all of the possible decisions. Wow, I love the way Spirit works because I just saw a flash of the Lovers, the tarot card. The Lovers is also connected to Gemini, okay? The twins, the Lovers. The Lovers are about the dialogue between Adam and Eve in this one old deck that I'm imagining now, and in a lot of the old decks. Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve, male, female, male, female, male, female, male, female, and then in the middle is the angel. There's the left side, the right side, and the truth. And the idea is that we use the season of Gemini to dialogue about the options, to dialogue about the possibilities, all the while keying into our heart so that we keep asking ourselves, but is it true? 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 And if we don't know if it's true, Spirit comes along and it's like synchronicity, 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 synchronicity. There's truth in the air. There's truth in the air. There's truth somewhere around here. Where do we look for the truth? Chances are it's there. As long as you go back to there, you're going to find what you need to know. Okay. Now, whoa. Okay. So now, I honestly don't even remember the beginning of this reading. That was strong. You with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Wow. Okay. So this is super fun. So what this actually says is, it's over. Death is behind you. Okay. So this says there's no holding on to the past. Change. What this card actually says is that change has already come. Okay. What this says is you're not super stoked about that change yet. Don't really know how to feel good about it. Don't really know how to go with the flow of it. And this says the final card is actually the devil, which is really interesting, which is devil's play, which says, well, face your fears head on, look deeply into them, get to the bottom of things, have lots of conversations about, stir the pot, right? Everything we've been saying all day about what Gemini season's for. I would just say to you that if you're a person who speaks up frequently, speak up louder. If you're a person who doesn't speak up all the time, speak up. Okay? Don't let things sit. Don't let things lay. Don't play nice. Don't be polite. Stir some shit up. And what you end up doing is you're poised right now, I think, on the other side of Gemini season to be able to stand on the solstice and go, I am the motherfucking mama taking care of my inner child. I'm giving my inner child what they have always wanted. And even if I can't give it to them today, I am the one who is giving it to them. It's how it's going to be. It's how it is. So that's how I would say it, is that if you're waiting for the day where you know that to be true, right, to prove that you are able to give yourself everything you've always needed, what I would say is that the days in which that wasn't true are over. You follow me?
Yeah.
The days in which you weren't capable of giving it to yourself are over. Maybe, I was going to say, maybe it doesn't feel like you can start doing it now, but let Gemini season reveal that truth to you just by agitating things. And then let Cancer season be the time in which you give yourself, when you know you're giving yourself what you need. Let Gemini season stir the pot, agitate, stir things up, and then the theory is that the most important thing to remember is that even if you don't feel like you're doing it yet, you're no longer not doing it. The time of not giving your inner child what they need is fundamentally behind you, over, gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that resonates. It feels like there's been a shift. And I feel the shift, but that it doesn't feel like I'm doing the thing yet. It's kind of like this limbo land. And I feel like I'm seeing the synchronicity, and I'm like, yes, I see it, but it's like, where do I go?
I would say that the most important thing right now is to integrate this death card and acknowledge that the shift has come. The shift has already happened. The shift is happening. You are doing the thing. The thing to do is now to dialogue. It's now to dialogue, to communicate, to poke holes in, to stir shit up, and to, I just think, take all the repeating twos as confirmation that maybe you aren't able to make the choice, but the choice has already been made. Maybe you don't feel like you're able to make the choice, but to some extent, the choice has already been made.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
If you honor that and that's already happened, then you'll get more options, more opportunities, more possibilities that actually make you feel like you're choosing. So you know what to choose, so that by the time you get to Cancer season, you can stand and say, I know that I'm committed to nurturing myself and my inner child for the long run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that completely makes sense.
All right. We got to go.
All right.
Love you.
Thank you so much. I love your work.
Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a part of this experience. See
Have
you
a
ne-
wonderful night.
You too. See you next time.
Bye.
Well, thank you, angels. Thank you, babies. Thank you, kitties. Thank you, delicious, yummy spirits. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for dealing with my retainer impediment. Look at the pearly whites. Who knew? No more braces, but we love you guys. Thanks for this event. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll just close out bringing the hands to the heart center, giving great thanks to all the guidance and guardianship that came through the space today. Angels, archangels, saints, odishas, masters, guide, ancestors, ancient ones. Continue working, please, with all of the souls who are here tonight in spirit, all of the souls witnessing and watching this transmission at a later date. Let anyone who needs to find this work and find the light that we are sharing amongst each other be drawn to it in their highest good and healing with harm to none. Just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This experience transmission is complete. We will see you. I believe we'll see you later this week for the Elements of Spirit. We may take this week off. We were not intending that, but after this, and because we're moving on Wednesday and Thursday, we may take a pause. We'll see if we get to it tomorrow, but tender, gentle warning, there may be no Elements of Spirit this week. But maybe we'll do something fun over the weekend. Jesus, Memorial Day already. Thank you, angels. Thank you, love, so much for being here, for tuning in. Love you so much. Need you and are grateful for you being here and for the opportunity to do this with you, all this crazy stuff. Stay tuned for more. Love you.